This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And a good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode number 188 of Beach Talk Radio. We're coming to you live from Peach Time Out. Yeah, 188 episodes with no end in sight. We're going to be doing this until the day we die right here from Peach Time Out. Oh, look who's here, everybody. There she is.
On that.
Sporting the Captains for Clean Water hat to match her white shirt. And, of course, before we get rolling, we want to say thank you to all of those fine businesses that support our little project here on Fort Myers Beach, including one of the best hotels, Best Western, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Mangaritas, Sanibel Carts, State Insurance USA, Sun Palace Vacations, the La Ola Restaurant, Tuckaway Cafe, Blue Ribbon Events, Beach Pottery, Shuckers. Our newest, we have two newest sponsors, the Farmers Market at the Beach Baptist, and we're going to be telling you more about the Friends of the Arts. Why don't we do that now? We can do that now because they're brand new, so we can tell everybody about the Friends of the Arts. They are kicking off their concert series with somebody that we had on the show, the ultimate tribute to Stevie Nicks. And that is going to be on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Nightbird. Sing a little Stevie Nicks, dear.
Oh, nobody wants that.
Okay.
Nobody wants that.
You can check out our Facebook page after the show, of course, and see that I posted some of she has like clips that she put together or they put together for people to see on YouTube. So I posted that, and they're going to be playing on Thursday to kick off the, what's it called? Yes, you're right, dear. It's called Rockin' the Bay Winter Concert Series for the Friends of the Arts. I bet you didn't know that. And January 13th, I skipped December. December 9th is going to be AC Doocy.
Right.
And I'll give you a guess.
It's an AC
Very good.
tribute band.
Like last night, one of the things we like to do when we're at home,
one of the
bored,
things you like to do
is
to embarrass me because I have
so
zero.
So a song comes on the radio or the Alexa or whatever, and it's mostly classic rock. And we say, I say to her, Kimberly, the wife, who is singing that song? Name that band. And last night, a song came on, which was clearly Boston. And the first thing she said was Journey.
I know.
You were so confident that you thought Journey sounded like Boston. I mean, it can't get any further from that sound. Journey, Boston.
Further.
Oh,
I think you could get further.
Yeah, Mary Carpenter, maybe. That would be further.
Carly Simon.
Yes, but we digress from our friends at the Arts.
The rest of them right after that, though.
Yeah. What was the one you got right? The one after that. You think about that.
I don't remember.
January 13th is the Girls of Motown. And I didn't know if you all knew this, but my wife will be in that actual performance because she is a girl of Motown.
I cannot sing, dear.
Aren't you a girl of Motown?
I like Motown.
Yeah, Motown. And then February 10th is Earth to Mars. What do you think that's about?
Bruno Mars.
Very good. Ding, 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 ding. The Bruno Mars experience.
I also paid attention last week when they were on.
I see. When Karen was on. March 10th
Not
is
Karen.
Okay, you're ready
Karen.
for this one. March 10th is Faithfully.
No, I think Bruno Mars was her favorite. You're
not going to get this, are you?
I'm not.
Oh, you're going to kick yourself right in the fanny. It's a Journey and Eagles tribute.
Oh,
you see, you're not as smart as you look sometimes.
Wow.
Then April 14th is going to be Shania Twain. Okay, you probably could get that one, right?
Yeah. Shania.
It's not Garth Brooks.
No, Shania.
Right, Shania Twain. And that's it.
That was the first country concert I saw.
Shania Twain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What was the first concert
in
you've
Orlando.
ever seen?
Cheap Trick.
Mine was Iron Maiden. Nobody cares, right?
No.
What was the first Steve, what was the first concert you've ever gone to? What was the first concert? Charlie Daniels.
Charlie
yeah,
Daniels.
okay.
That's
Scott,
a
what
good
about
one.
you? What was your first? REM.
REM.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Cool. Very cool. That's a great question to ask people,
that's a good
right?
icebreaker.
Yeah. The concerts are held at Salty Sam's.
And
now,
you can tell how old people are.
Don't get confused. REM and who did you say again? Charlie Daniels and what did you say?
Cheap Trick.
They're not going to be at Salty Sam's. It's going to be the bands that we just mentioned. It's all for Friends of the Arts, and it starts on a Thursday at 7:00, and you can get in at 5:00. Like the gates open if you want to go in and have a drink or cavort with your friends. And for all the details, you can go to FMB Arts.
Food trucks, plus you could eat there. They're going to have drinks.
Yeah.
You can get, I remember, you can get a group of, you can get some VIP spots. Like there's a group of 10.
Now, you really should go check out the Stevie Nicks tribute. It's freaking awesome, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah,
now,
when they were on, remember?
Now,
it was a while back ago.
Do you remember what band Stevie Nicks was in?
Fleetwood Mac.
Very good, dear. Another bell for you. You have 2 bells so far, and you haven't even asked a question. The Fort Myers Beach Friends of the Arts was founded in 2011. That's about 10 years ago, for those of you keeping track at home, when a group of island citizens envisioned an organization that would support and promote all types of art, fine art, the performing arts, and culinary art. That's cooking, dear, in case you didn't know.
We have no skills in any of those categories.
So go to fmbarts.org, not .com, .org. Your dad's first concert was who? Frank Sinatra. Oh, wow. He goes back a ways.
Johnny and the Hurricanes.
That's even before Frank Sinatra. Who are Johnny and the Hurricanes? Have you ever heard of that?
That's a good
Pull that up.
question.
Pull that up on the YouTube and see if you can find Johnny and the Hurricanes. All right, everybody. Enough about us. It's time for our first guest. He's back for his 3rd appearance. Scott Allen is here from the Man Caves. A big round of applause from our artificial audience. And for those of you that are playing along at home, I hope you're clapping. Scott is here to tell us about his big event coming up November the 19th.
Coming right up.
This is the 3rd.
Oh, man.
The 3rd annual.
Do you know what's November 19th, too?
Yeah, it's our big day, our 20-something anniversary.
Yeah.
What is the number?
I'd have to do the math.
Yeah, we have to add
that up. I think it's 27.
There it is right there. It's the 3rd annual Mayhem at the Man Caves.
Did you say anniversary?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a very exclusive VIP list who gets free entry, and I'm going to put you guys on
another big round of applause.
Here's the really bad thing.
She's not going to be here. I'll take the ticket, though. I'll bring a date.
All right.
You can
Steve, what are you doing on the 19th? Oh, he's not going to be here either. Dang it. All right. So, Scott.
So if anyone would like to accompany Ed to this event in my stead, that'd be great.
So first off, tell us about the Man Caves for anybody that's new to the show that might not know what that is. There's a picture of it there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks, Ed and Kim. First off, I want to say that how do you confuse Journey and Boston?
I know.
That's close, she says.
I'll forgive you on that one.
I'm not good with the music.
Yeah. So anyway, the Man Caves, I developed a concept called Island Storage Suites back in 2017. It really took off as a concept of a air-conditioned, climate-controlled garage that is not attached to your house. It's in a community of condominium garages where like-minded people have purchased these units to store their car collections, perform their hobbies in, and just kind of hang out. A lot of them are decked out and built out uniquely per owner. You really have to come see it to believe it. It's taken off so much that I've dissolved the rest of my business, including residential, and I'm focused exclusively on building man caves.
Wow, that's awesome.
Doing another 100,000 square feet of them on Alico Road that we break ground in December, and we're nearly almost 50% sold out of those already.
Where on Alico?
On Alico, in a community called iTech, which is about a mile east of 75 on the northbound side.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting project.
Now, when you talk about the inside, because we've seen at least one of them. So when people come to you and they want one, do you also design the inside, or that's up to them?
I help them design it. So I walk them through a couple owners' units and give them ideas on what they're looking for, whether it's a rustic finish to it or a contemporary. They all have different flares on the design and finish out. So we look to see what they're interested in, and then we kind of go from there and customize it from A to Z for them at that point. So we do provide the build out for them also.
What's the most unique thing or lavish thing somebody has put in one of these?
Oh man, I'd say a babe cave. Yep, we've got a couple
babe
women over there.
cave?
Yes.
Oh, not
Yep.
like Babe the pig, not
No.
like not like for little piglets.
No,
Babe the-
Okay.
Oh, I see.
we've
what
got
you're
an owner who's we have a couple women owners, but this one particular woman, she is a car collector of old Volkswagens. So
Oh,
she's
that's
got a
cool.
decked out unit that you wouldn't believe, and she puts most of the man caves to shame. So she's got her, little parties over there for herself and her girlfriends. It's really, really neat. Guys aren't invited. Just
It's
every
like a
once in
step
while.
up from a she shed.
It's definitely a step up.
Yes.
It's on steroids. The she shed.
saying.
It's on estrogen.
Yeah.
Now
So-
you, tell us why you started this event a couple of years ago.
Well, the owners were sold, in addition to the man caves themselves, I sold them a lifestyle that they can come down and really have a good time with, where they don't get bored being at home or shopping with the wives or sitting by the pool. It's an extension of entertainment for them. And I said that we're going to put some venues together and events. And I don't think they had an idea of how grand we were going to make it. Our very first party had 500 people with
Wow.
only 24 units built. And we had an unbelievable band. And we did a nice donation to Captains for Clean Water for that one. And it just kept rolling. Everybody had a great time at the party. And as soon as their hangovers wore off, they all came to me and said, we have to do more of these events. So I've been the host, I'm the developer, and they recently elected me as president of the association. Normally they kick developers out, but they've kept me on board to host a lot of these events to have them enjoy their time there.
It's not far from the beach.
It's not. It took me, I just came from there. It took me 5 minutes.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, in the community we live in, when they have events, the people aren't living there. People can't live in them.
Can't live in them.
You cannot live in them, but they do have bathrooms.
Full bathrooms and showers in some of them. And
Do they have kitchens?
Oh yeah, I've got a full bar and wet bar and kitchenette in mine. You're allowed to have all those things.
So you just can't have a bed that you could have one to rest in, but you can't sleep in it.
Correct. In fact, there's a lot of officials that when we were in zoning for this, were saying, hey, you're going to allow people to live in here. Why do you have bathrooms and showers in an industrial storage facility? So I had to create a description of a man cave to let them know that we are not living in here. This is just a source of entertainment and storage. So, but yes, they do have bathrooms and showers and custom showers, tile and all that kind of detail. So it's
Wow.
pretty neat.
So you had 500 people at the first one. How
Yeah.
did the second one go?
Well, I just announced it 2 weeks ago for the party, and we're at 250 RSVPs right now. So we usually get a real big late surge about 2 weeks before the party. So I'm expecting somewhere 400 to 500 people again at this one.
So, is this the third one or the second one?
This will be the third.
Okay, so the second one, it's about 500 people is what you usually have.
That was right at the beginning of COVID. That
I
was
see.
last year.
Yeah.
And so, there were some people that were skeptical
Sure.
of coming, and but we still had probably in the 400 range, somewhere in that.
And speaking about that, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you completely, because you were on last time talking about how you really took a hit from
Yeah.
the COVID, right?
Yeah, I was in the hospital for 5 days with COVID, and no rhyme or reason. I'm a relatively healthy guy. I go for my annual checkups, and ended up getting it. My wife and I got it over Thanksgiving in 2020. Had it for 7 days, and on my 8th day, went in, found out I had double pneumonia. They sent me home. A day later, I had a 62% rating on my oxygen reading, and nearly 105-degree fever, and they rushed me in and admitted me for 5 days.
Did you have to have an oxygen tank when you
Yes.
came out?
No.
While you were there?
While I was there, I was on the maximum amount of oxygen. When I got out, they had me on a breathing exercise machine. But surprisingly, about 2 weeks later, I was hiking in the mountains of North Carolina with very little after effects.
Do you think that's because you're in good shape and your recovery went quicker than maybe somebody that's not healthy or older?
Possibly. I do probably 20 miles a week jogging and walking. So I think my cardio system is established. And I think that definitely helped me. And it could have possibly helped me survive.
Any idea since about how you got so sick from it?
No,
It's just one of those things.
Just one of those things. I've got 2 doctors that have looked at it and said, well, maybe we'll know in 3 years, 5 years, but
Right.
no one knows right now.
Right. And
Yeah.
now do you feel like that you and your wife have both had it, that you've got the antibodies where you're good?
Yes. Admittedly, my wife and I are neither vaccinated, and we were the caregiver to my son who had the Delta variant, we believe, about 3 months ago. And
Jeez.
being around him, we did not get sick. So
Okay,
we did
yeah.
not get reinfected from the virus.
And he's good?
And he's perfect. Yeah,
Good.
he didn't. Yeah, he was sick, but not seriously sick.
Yeah. So back to the event.
Sorry, I just wanted to
good,
check
good,
in
good,
and see.
good question, dear. I'll give you a
Thank
bell
you,
for
thank
that.
you.
Well, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So the Ben Allen band is playing, right? They're pretty popular.
Is that a relation to you?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
like
Good
different
question,
spelling,
dear.
different. I'm AN and they're EN.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't know that. You should have looked that up. What's wrong with you?
I did know
So
that.
Ben Allen has been a band that we've been following for quite a while. They've been outstanding around the state, I believe, and specifically here in Southwest Florida. But obviously, everybody knows their background from The Voice.
He was on The Voice?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
on
I didn't know
he
that.
doesn't
Yeah,
We don't have regular
he
TV.
was on The
Forget
Voice.
the obvious.
If you
'cause
Google his
you should have done it.
his first moment on the Voice, it was really spectacular. They sang Brooks and Dunn.
Oh,
So it was really a good song.
oh, so it's a Ben and an Allen. It's not just Ben Allen.
Nope, it's Ben Allen.
Okay, so who is he singing? Is he got somebody else in the band that he sings with to do the Garth
I believe
Brooks?
it's a 5-member band, but Ben
Oh,
Allen
I
is the
see.
lead. Is the lead singer.
No, really, I mean, this is sad, but how I came to know him, I shouldn't say know him. I don't know him. He was in a fight with Brendan Leslie for some reason on social media. Did you see all that
No,
crap?
I didn't.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
guess-
sure you're right about
Yeah,
that?
Brendan had some kind of event going on, and something happened where they had a fight or something. It
Maybe
was just
a
crazy.
disagreement.
It was crazy,
I
but
like fighters.
that's how I found out how popular he was
Yeah.
around in the area. Like he's a big deal.
He is a big deal.
Yeah.
So we're excited to have him, and we're bringing him over on the 19th. We got him set up with a full stage and lighting, and it's going to be a really good show.
Is this the first time he's playing, or does he play?
First time he's playing at the Mancaves, and we'll probably have him back.
Yeah. And I forgot what I was going to ask next.
Well, we
here,
could
so.
talk a little bit more about the specifics. How much are the tickets?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
long
yeah.
does it run?
Sure. So the party is on November 19th. It's a Friday. It starts at 6:30. The band starts at 7, and they go till 10 o'clock. And then there's the after parties if everybody feels like staying for it. I recommend Uber because there's a lot of adult beverages floating around.
I hear you.
But the tickets are $50 each. That's all inclusive. We have Pop's Barbecue, who's one of the best barbecue guys that I've ever had, and I've been around a lot of barbecue trucks. He'll be serving food with 2 sides. It's true. And we'll have a full bourbon bar and a full liquor bar and beer bar,
Wow.
cigar rolling station.
Like I've never been around a full bourbon bar. How
Yeah.
many different kinds of bourbon are there?
Just one Maker's Mark.
Okay, yeah, that's
But
deadly.
it's a lineup of Maker's Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we
How many different Maker's Marks are there?
there's about 3 of them that we'll pull out. There's the Maker 64, the regular Maker's Mark, and
Now, how do you become an expert in bourbon? Like you know all the different numbers.
experience?
Okay. What is your
Barbecue
favorite?
and bourbon.
Yeah,
Yeah. What is your favorite Maker's Mark?
just the regular Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
The expensive ones, the 64s and the premiums, they don't do much different to they don't taste much different to me than the rest of them.
Like, how
you
many?
used to
It's really could be deadly. The Maker's Mark could
yes,
be deadly.
ask my wife.
Yeah. It gave you COVID, is what happened.
gave
The
me
Maker
COVID.
Mark.
Don't say
Maker
that.
It
Mark.
might have saved my life.
It does.
that.
It is like one of the coolest liquor bottles that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Which is probably silly to say, but so how many, like, if you're drinking Maker's Mark throughout the night, I would think at some point you're just going to fall down. Like, or do you? How do you pace yourself?
Well, I've got
with
personal experience with that also, but
Okay.
I've seen people at my parties fall down. I made sure they got in an Uber or had a family or friend to take them home. But we try to monitor obviously the amount that we give people, and but when you do drink bourbon, you should be careful.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
should eat.
And you should eat.
And-
Absolutely should eat.
So what do you mix it with?
Me personally, I like a whiskey ball in mine with just a tiny splash of ginger ale sometimes, or
What do you mean
occasionally
whiskey ball?
it's just a big ball of ice. It's
I see.
one big ice cube.
Not
instead
made of
like-
whiskey.
No.
It's called a
just made of-
whiskey
Yep,
ball.
Yep. But I enjoy the bourbon. So it's.
Do you own
it's-
a liquor store or a bar or something where you know all this stuff? Or
If you look in my man cave, it looks like a liquor store.
yeah.
But I don't own one. No,
Yeah.
no.
Very nice. So there'll be a liquor bar or a bourbon bar and a what other kind of bar?
Beer
bar,
wine,
wine.
water, stuff for kids that
Water?
are coming. Yeah, there's
What the
gonna be
hell's
some
that
waters
about?
If
Jeez.
it's
Oh,
hot,
there'll be
we
kids
have
there.
hydrate.
I see.
Yeah.
Kids there. Yeah.
And that's how you pace yourself. You alternate.
I have an
is
idea.
What I've heard.
What do you think about doing there? People do beer miles. We were at
Bourbon
the
mile.
a bourbon
No.
mile. A bourbon
That's
mile.
You'll see a lot
hard
of
no.
people falling down. We could start here. They'd be out by.
But you
Salty
guys,
Crab.
you guys can run around the building, right?
Why not?
Talk about bar buckets for a bourbon mile. I swear, you'd need to.
You've heard of beer crawls, and I've never heard of bourbon crawls.
There you go.
we could be innovators. We could start the first ever bourbon mile or quarter mile. They'd feel like they ran a mile.
If you get at least 20 people to sign up, I'll join.
Oh boy. Challenge, dear, challenge.
I don't think that's a good idea. That would
So
be
are you
rough.
guys going to be like doing tours of all you showing the folks are going to be showing? It's like a car show, basically. I mean, it's a car show within a
It's like an
man
open
cave
house.
show because of the,
It's a
What-
showcase.
what is
Yeah.
the most expensive vehicle that you have in one of those caves over there?
I'm going to go with a 1929 Duesenberg, which is like kind of like looks like the Great Gatsby car. I believe it's a $3 million car. We've got a Ford GT that the owner's been offered $2.5 million for it, and he's got 3 of them. So there's some expensive cars
Wow.
in these caves, and a lot of them pull their cars out in the middle, so they showcase their cars for the people at the event, and they also leave their doors open for people to tour the man caves.
Nice.
And a lot of the owners have their own separate bartenders inside their units to welcome guests that
Wow.
come in and feed them additional cocktails and
Nice.
hors d'oeuvres and stuff.
And so these man caves that you're building are seriously going to be able to withstand any weather event, anything to protect what's in there.
Yes, we actually elevate all of our man caves above the flood zone. So we invest as developers in additional import dirt to actually raise the land outside of the flood zone. So for flooding, we're very safe. We have a specific design on the buildings that sheds water, as well as our underground infrastructure that sheds water very easily. So in events of heavy rainstorms, we don't have any standing water where our neighbors might be flooded. And the buildings withstand 175 mile an hour wind ratings.
Wow.
And
Hey, guess,
they're
dear.
quite strong.
Guess where we're going next time? There's a threat of a
And there's going to be
storm.
so much leftover
Please let us
bourbon
know.
too.
Yeah, you won't go hungry or thirsty over there. That's for sure.
Now, are they all sold out in that particular area?
Yeah, I wanted to bring that. Thank you. They are all sold out. I've got a
It
waiting
was a
list.
thank you.
Yeah,
It wasn't
close
a good
enough for me.
question.
I've got a waiting list of 30 people, more than 30 people right now, where we just had a resale come up. I've been sold out for about 2 years.
Wolf.
And the resale came up. I sent it out to all the people interested, the prospects, at $425,000, and ended up selling for $500,000 for a garage. So that's
And
the
how many are
demand.
there?
There's
It's not really a garage,
68.
68, all sold
All
out.
sold out.
Yeah,
So-
you're banking
So
a
do
little
you think-
money
Yeah.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Can
very
some,
nice.
Will some
Totally.
of those people go down to the Alico one because it's not that far, or these are people who really want to be right up the road here?
I've sold about 5 units on Alico to people that live in Gulf Harbor and the surrounding areas in Iona
Mhm.
because they wait for a unit to become available at Island Storage Suites. They never do, and out of sheer desperation,
Right.
that
Mm.
they go over to
Because they're worried
Alico.
that's going to sell out.
Because I mean, cars are an emotional attachment. These guys spend decades putting their cars together with their own 2 hands. They're not just going to sell their cars once they bring them down. They need a place to keep them.
That's
So
safe.
there's
Yeah.
How
there's a
often are
major
the folks
demand.
over there? You think they're going over there just on the weekends, or they're some people like to be there every day?
During season, it looks like a carnival over there. Everybody's there.
Cool.
Everybody's there hanging out. Weekends are very, very busy. And it's going to get busier this year with the additional units we just built last January. So,
And you could say too, talk about the security. Like it's
oh yeah, fully gated cameras that are very sophisticated. So we have motion sensors and exclusive gates that are impossible to penetrate. So if someone does penetrate the gates, you're on camera, facial recognition, goes to the sheriff's office, and they'll
Wow.
be able to track them down. We
Is
haven't had one item stolen from
arrows
the
are
property.
going to come shooting out.
It's
of the
not flock
side.
security, is it? Flock safety?
No,
Okay,
no.
just wondering
No,
because
yeah.
I interviewed him last week. The town is looking into getting some kind of cameras
I
where
saw
they
that.
can read the license plates.
Yeah, I
which
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Security is important these days.
Yeah. So your breakfast is here. I don't want it to get too cold. Anything else you want the folks to know about that day? This isn't just for the people that own the units. Anyone can come down, right?
Correct. It's a friends and family invite for the owners, and then with your guys' outreach, we do allow public. But other than that, from Beach Talk Radio, it's not a public announcement.
Gotcha.
So all the viewers are welcome to come. Please come and enjoy it. It's a great time, and I think it's
Mention
something
our
you'll
name so
have
you
a good
can
time
get
at.
in.
Now,
Yes.
do I lose my VIP area because she's not going to be here? Is that
No, you
for-
have an Ed times 2.
I might have to invite my sister.
So I'm going to be gone actually hiking in North Carolina. So where did you go?
Yeah.
I was in right outside of Asheville.
That's where we're going. Sorry.
Wow.
I
I
get
was in
so
Hot
excited.
There's no touching the guest, dear. What's wrong with you?
That's
No, that's
exactly
okay.
where we're going. That's where we're going.
In Asheville?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right outside Asheville.
Yep.
Yeah.
We went to Asheville and Black Mountain. So it was we love that area over
What
there.
a small world.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is a small world. And it was
Great area.
great.
Oh.
I mean, I
yeah.
think it's going to be a little chilly for us Floridians, but
Yep.
we're gonna rock it out and
It
Lance-
does get cool.
dress up.
Enough about the hiking. Lance wants to know if there's going to be cake.
Cake?
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably no cake.
Yeah, I don't know where
bring
that
your own
question
cake. We'll
came
top it with some
from,
bourbon.
Lance. So, all right. So, Scott, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you there. And we always appreciate you coming on 3 years in a row now, and glad you're doing well after the catching the vid. And thanks for coming down, man.
Thank you, Ed and Kim. Really appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Big hand for Scott Allen, everybody. He is not related to Ben Allen. He is not playing in the Ben Allen band, but November the 19th at the Mancaves. If you have a chance to come down, go ahead and do it. And I'm going to take care of the farmers market while you line us up with our next group of guests who are here. And I'm going to tell you about the farmers market at the let them know that that's all our stuff there and that Steve doesn't bite. The Baptist Church is every Wednesday and Friday from 1 to 4 o'clock. And it's at 130 Connecticut Street. It's going on through May the 27th. And here are some of the things that you're going to find out if you go to the farmers market at the Beach Baptist Church. And you know we love the Beach Baptist Church because they've got the coolest pastor at the Beach Baptist Church. And they sell the coffee, which goes to the folks that go out on the mission. And so that's the church. If you go to church, that's the church you want to go to. Now, I'm not a religious person, so don't take my advice on that. But, you know, maybe you go to the farmers market and you say, wow, look, there's a little church behind it. Maybe I should go in and check out the church, pick up a few pamphlets, do a little, get some of the water on you, and you'll be blessed. And then you'll come out and you'll say, I'm going to do some shopping at the farmers market because they have Cubana Cafe with authentic Cuban sandwiches. They have the Squeezers, of course, which is fresh squeezed lemonade, snow cones, Philly cheesecakes, grilled burgers and hot dogs, and love muffins. There's nothing like squeezing those love muffins. You know what I'm saying, Steve? When you get those muffins in your hand, you just want to squeeze those love muffins. I think I have pictures of the love muffins just in case you wanted to see what they look like when you go down to, there they are right there. Look at that, the love muffins. Isn't that nice? Come prepared, people. I am on it. I come prepared. They have Dudley's Beachside Barbecues, Suncoast Coffee that benefits the church mission. They have Fresh Catch Fish Company, Walker Farms local raw honey. It goes on and on and on. There's thousands and thousands of vendors in that parking lot. Well, maybe not thousands, but you know what I'm saying. They've got lots. So stop on down to the farmers market at the Beach Baptist Church because they have some cool stuff. I did a whole religious thing that you missed. You missed out on it.
Oh.
Yeah. I said you go to the Beach Baptist, you farmers market, you say, hey, there's a church behind there. Let me go in and see what's going on. Pick up a pamphlet, grab some of the water, put the water on you, do a little blessing.
That's not, no.
No, you don't do
No.
that? You can't just, maybe they'll give you a little wine and bread? No.
It's
All
a
right.
Baptist.
The Baptists don't do that? It's different? Am I doing the
They're
Catholic
just-
thing?
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that.
So our guests are going to be on soon.
Okay.
They're
Just waiting?
they're doing the parking thing because now you have to download an app.
Not really.
Which-
Not in Lynn Hole Park.
No, I know, but that's not where they parked. And I felt bad because we should have given them the heads up to do that.
See, they say
And,
they asked me to preach it. They want me to preach it.
Nobody
Let's
wants
do
you
the
to
we'll do
preach
the movie
anything.
trivia. We got movie trivia
Yeah.
going on right here. Let's
We
give
can
away.
fill.
Oh yeah. She can talk like there's no tomorrow. Let's give away 2 tickets to the Beach
You're gonna
Theater,
have to
which is
move
located
that
here on Estero Boulevard. Folks, you're going to get this. You know, Halloween weekend is here, and you know what that means. That means you took me right out of the picture, which I'm sure is fine with everybody. A little bit more. Halloween weekend brings out the scary at the Beach Theater. Screening this weekend is Halloween Kills. Oh, my God. Jamie Lee Curtis is back. Did you know that? What did you do that for?
Oh,
Jamie Lee Curtis is back. I didn't know that. Jamie Lee is the daughter. Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Okay.
She's the daughter of 2 famous actors.
Ooh.
If you get one famous actor right, you're going to win these tickets. One of the famous actors, because the one is super easy. So pick that, and you're going to get 2 tickets to the Beach Theater. Why'd you really zoomed me out of the camera? I mean, I don't care. People want to see me.
Ooh.
So caller number 77, if you call in to 1-800 Beach Talk
Oh,
Radio,
You already have
you're going to,
winners.
very nice. Christy is the winner. Oh wait, Kathy got. Oh wait, Karen got. Oh, he's not winning. He's got to wait 30 days. That's the rule. Karen has to wait 30 days. Yeah.
You're too
he's
close
like
to me.
he's like one of those radio prize hogs that just all they want to do is win the prizes. So I'm going to give it to let's see, who was before Karen or after Karen? I'm going to give it to Kathy. Kathy's going to win the tickets. Very good. Tony Curtis. Does anybody know who the wife was without Googling it? See, everybody knew Tony Curtis. Very nice. All right. Michelle. Michelle, I'm going to try and get you a pair of tickets too, just so everybody's got tickets to that. What's going on with our camera here?
I don't know. You messed it all up.
You know what? I'm using a different camera, which was a dumb idea. So we're going to just have to sit a little closer. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I don't need to be in the picture.
I can be in the back.
Yeah. Steve, can you move this back a little bit for us? I'm never going to use that camera again. We just need to get the full shot here.
Yeah, they can't even serve the food.
Back it up, Steve. Back it up. Turn it a little toward me.
Nobody really needs to see you.
Turn a little. There we go. Perfect. Right there. Hey, Terry, watch the camera. Don't step on the camera. Welcome to the show. It's gonna be
I don't know if
exciting.
he prepared you for us, but we're gonna.
He
okay,
No.
we're gonna. He didn't help you with the parking.
We're like lamb to the slaughter.
Oh no.
No.
We're gonna be very good, at least while you're here.
Nice and close with the microphone. Or
yeah.
Is somebody missing or?
No, this is it.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay. So
We figured
Mike?
we had to leave someone at home to
Hold
tell
down the
what happened
fort.
to us.
okay.
If you didn't make it back,
We didn't make it back.
So it's Mike Love, and I'm sorry because
Yes.
we've never met. So, Mike, you do the introductions then.
Okay, so I'm Mike Love. I am the Economic Development Director for the NAACP. And
I'm Jacqueline McMiller. I am the co-chair of the redistricting committee for the NAACP.
Okay, and the reason that we invited you on was because there's a big redistricting issue with Lee County going on, and there was I think 5 maps that they started with, and it's really a big deal because the redistricting of the county counts for the next decade. They do it every time there's a census, and it has a lot to do with who gets elected in the certain areas, right? So, first of all, before we start on that, tell us a little bit about the local NAACP and how long it's been operating, and really what some of the services that you provide to the community.
Well, the NAACP has been operating here in the city of Fort Myers for over 50 years. Our president, James Muwakil, has been the president for at least the last 20 years. And a few of the things that we do is we help the citizens, we give them information, we're information providers, but we also stand up and with those citizens whose civil liberties have been trampled upon, if their rights as far as, people of color and anyone, if they are, anyone of the disfranchised that fits under that umbrella. But, we will discuss, investigate, and give them the information. So if they need to go further seeking attorneys, or if we need to represent them somehow, and sometimes it even doesn't go to that. Maybe it just may take a phone call to speak to whomever that other party may be. But just to make sure that the person's rights are upheld and that everyone is being treated fairly and given a fair opportunity to be represented.
do you find that a lot of times it's just a situation where someone just needs to be educated and more sensitized versus rampant problems? Or is it, what is your impression of the split there?
It's more of education, and that's one of the things that we do. And many times once the president or one of the representatives from the NAACP has that conversation and get both of the parties together and make sure that there's a clear understanding of what happens, because many times when, people are upset, things get misconstrued.
Yep.
And that's where we are the ones that kind of come in and kind of either get everyone to see both sides and then come and settle in the middle somewhere. And then there's times where we have to fight when there's a specific, issue that needs to be addressed, and that person's rights have not been taken into consideration. and we have to step forward, and that's where the NAACP comes in at.
Just by coincidence or not, I have been kind of studying the Supreme Court, and now I'm reading a lot about Brown versus the Board of Education. I wonder if the younger generation, or maybe not even the younger generation, understands that time frame, which really wasn't that long ago in the 60s, and how difficult it was. And if it wasn't for the NAACP, how different things might be today. Do you feel like enough is taught about what went on back then and how difficult it was at that time? And how do you help educate people on, I don't know if struggle is the right word. It probably is the right word, but it sounds idiotic coming from me. But it was really crazy if you read about some of the stuff that went on back then. And if it wasn't for the fund and the NAACP, it would be crazy how things were, even years and years later. It took forever.
Very true.
You know, if you, the Constitution is such a powerful tool. And we do not teach it. We don't even teach civics in school anymore. And as a result, we are raising several generations of individuals who do not understand our basic foundation, our constitutional rights. If you go way back to the Jim Crow period, where if you wanted to vote, you would walk into a room and there is a jar with beans and you had to guess the amount of beans. Our kids don't know that. Unfortunately, so do we blame the school system? Yes. Do we blame the families? Yes. So there's enough blame to go around. But at times we look at our governmental entities to help with the process. And when we look at Lee County, we are saying, okay, we have a lot of work to do.
Why do you say that?
Because when you look at Lee County and you see the districting and you see the struggle that we currently going through just to get a minority majority or get minorities, blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, to get the person of their choice to represent them, then you know there's a big problem here. And the NAACP is working hard to make sure there's a certain amount of equity.
So when you say minority majority, can you explain what that is?
Well, a minority majority is, say, for example, you have an area that the majority of the people that live in that particular area are minorities.
Okay.
So basically, it's at least 51% or more of that group of people that live within that specific area is a majority. So, and to piggyback on, what you just said and what we were just talking about, the Lee County was just desegregated. The schools were just desegregated in 1970. So it wasn't that long ago. So the struggle is continually real, that we must move forward. We must push forward to obtain that equity. And, in just knowing that it wasn't not that long ago,
right.
that we're continuing to fight for this equity. And
what is
equality.
the minority population in Lee County?
We are at this point in time, we are about 180,000
out of
700,000.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a specific area that the minorities live in that you want to try and make it a majority? Forgive me if I don't understand redistricting. Right. This is really the first time I've followed redistricting that closely, and
it's
see
once every 10 years. So it's
unless it
it's
gets
not
challenged.
unless it gets challenged like
Mm-hmm.
this, you know. But the Lee County has 5 districts,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And in District 5, where it tends to straddle District 5 and District 2. Tends to straddle Metropolitan, Fort Myers, and Lehigh Acres.
Okay.
Now, what the NAACP is trying to do, and we presented a map and we are following the Constitution from the 1964 Civil Rights Acts and subsequent
Voter. Yeah.
right. You and the subsequent cases. We are saying that if you can find contiguity, meaning that properties are area that touches each other, and you can get a minority majority, as you can see on the map. So if you take Fort Myers, as you can see on the map, and you take Lehigh Acres, they are butting each other. And if you draw a reasonable sized map, you can take in a minority majority with blacks and brown people, blacks, Latinos, and Hispanics.
So this map here, what one of the things that you have to do with redistricting is try and keep the number of people, the total number of people, around the same number, which it appears to be 150-ish thousand people.
152,000 approximately
in Lee County, and so the district that you're talking about is 3.
That's
or
not where you're pointing.
Five.
Sorry, you're talking.
Lehigh.
You're talking about
The yellow.
5. Okay, so you're talking about making 5 a minority majority district.
Yes.
And
So-
actually, just to explain a little bit more in depth, those 5 districts were drawn when there was only 10,000 people in Lee County.
How long ago was that?
Oh wow!
Over
Since the
100 years?
inception
Oh, I see.
of Lee
County.
County,
So the map as it exists today has never been redrawn.
it's been redrawn,
Redrawn.
but it's been 5 districts.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
set up with 5 districts when
With
it was only
10,000
10,000 people.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So it's
Oh, I see.
over 700,000 people now.
So
Do you
let's.
think there needs to be more districts then?
Well, with the growth,
I don't think
and
you can.
considering the growth from 2010 to 2020,
You can't.
absolutely, that only makes sense. And not only that, we need people, we need representatives that I cannot, as a representative, say that I'm living somewhere on the outskirts of Fort Myers Beach, for example.
Mhm.
I cannot say that I can represent you because I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I may live here for a period of time, I don't really know the area. So it only makes sense that we have someone that actually knows this area, knows the people, know the struggles, and can be able to represent the needs of that area. The way the map is set up right now, to have a person, because it's set up as an at-large voting system,
Right.
and to have a person to represent that area, that's the purpose of what we're doing now. We want to make sure that that person, that area, which is a minority majority area, to be able to have someone to have an opportunity to be represented.
So if
I
we
know,
could talk
okay,
about the election, the way the election works in Lee County, just for a second. When somebody runs for Lee County Board, everybody in the county gets to vote. So even though they're representing one of the 5 districts, anybody could vote. Everybody can vote for that person. So why such an emphasis on trying to create? I don't know why. So that's what I'm asking.
Right.
To create an area when it really doesn't. It seems that the way it's set up now really doesn't matter.
So the bottom line is, if you don't need my vote, you don't care about my interests, would you?
I don't follow you.
Here's the thing: if you have at large vote, and you have 500,000 people ready to vote for you, you might ignore 200.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's happening is the person who is supposed to be representing District 5, where we are seeking that minority majority, if they can get votes from the other districts, they will ignore
I see.
the thing. And further in our conversation, I want to get to the point where we can say this is not about the map. There is a story below the map that is contained within the map that is being ignored. And when we get to that point,
Okay.
we're going to explore it.
Do you mean today we're going to get? Okay. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I just want to make sure I know.
Absolutely.
My thought is that you want to also change the charter. You want
Well,
to change the county charter so that the votes are done differently.
We are
That would be
not
the
at
only
that
way,
point.
right?
We're
Right,
not
right.
at that point. But we're redistricting. Charter changing and stuff is down the road. Right
Mhm.
now, we are dealing with redistricting.
Okay, so if let's say your map there's 7 maps, I
Right.
think, because Brian.
Yeah,
Brian, let me pull up Brian's map too.
Right.
Brian Hammond brought this map. He built this map in his office. And
Okay.
have you guys been able to look over Brian's map?
Yes.
And what are your thoughts on his map?
We
Go or no go?
no go
No go on that.
Absolutely
and
not.
if
Okay.
just
Why
take a quick
absolutely
look.
not? Okay.
Let's take a quick look at what would be District 5. District 5 is sitting right on top of the city of Fort Myers,
Okay.
and it's encapsulate the entire city of Fort Myers. You're gonna have a serious tension there between city government and county government.
I see. Now, because I'm terrible with maps. And so, where's Lehigh Acres? What district is that?
5
District 5 is Lehigh. So
and maybe part of 3.
let's
I don't know.
put your map back up, and your map,
See, it straddles.
Lehigh and Fort Myers,
Mhm.
There you go.
and that's how the minority majority is created.
Well,
Yours goes
and-
more across, and the other ones seem to. It's just in it's oriented
Mhm.
differently
Right.
too,
Well, you
like
also
north,
have
south,
to think
east,
about
west.
the fact that we have people in the Lehigh area and Fort Myers area. Many of the people that lived in Fort Myers have migrated because of circumstances, because of the fact that many of the people live on. They have the same interests.
Mhm,
and-
mhm.
Part of the 1965 Voting Rights Act indicates that if you have a minority, you can build a minority majority because of the fact that they have same interests, you have the same people, you have a minority group of people, and that includes black and brown. That includes those people that are mixed.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
there's a huge amount of minorities. So when you have that, and you can make that map the contiguous map, you have
to do it.
draw it.
Yeah.
You have to draw it. You have more people from Fort Myers and Lehigh that depend on public transportation,
Mhm.
that depend on public assistance, that most of the households are led by single family households. You have a higher dropout rate within Fort Myers and Lehigh. So there's a lot of consistencies between the two.
And that's where you get the phrase community of interest.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
So what again, if it doesn't matter about who's voting, like the voters can vote at large, how is that advantageous to you if the person that gets elected to the district is somebody that you don't feel like is going to be representing that district the way you want? Then you go to a charter change, right? I mean, or do you, like, if somebody, I always feel like I'm going to ask the question the wrong way, and I apologize if I
That's
do.
okay. That's
But
okay.
who do you want elected? Like, who could really lead what you're trying to do?
First of all,
You're gonna
we are
yell,
not-
are you
we are
yelling at
not
me?
looking-
Are you
no,
yelling at me?
no.
Okay.
it's the Jamaican blood inside
Oh,
of me.
sorry.
A little hint of an accent there.
Right.
Just a small.
The bottom line is this: we are not looking for a black person to represent us. That's racism. We're not looking for a Hispanic or a Latino. That's racism.
Okay.
We're looking for the individual who have our best interest at heart.
So are you saying that the 5 that we have now don't?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because if you see where we live, how we live, the things that are happening that are not being addressed, and let's face it, there's a legacy of discrimination that resides in Lee County.
But not from these 5 representatives. Is that?
If your action creates negligence, if your action creates ignoring a community, yes.
When you say
if I can go down some places in this county, and I can send pictures to my family all over the world,
Mhm.
and it's the best vacation pictures. Let's see you do the same thing in Lehigh Acres and some places in metropolitan Fort Myers.
when you say when they see where we live, where is that? What do you mean by that? Where?
When it rains and the sidewalk is flooded because it's dirt. It's not.
I know, but where are you talking about? Lehigh? Is
I'm
that
talking
Lehigh?
Lehigh Acres and Fort
And
Myers.
parts
Okay.
of Fort
Parts
Myers
of
as
Fort
well.
Myers.
I got you.
So
I
it's
lived in, and just to give you a compare and contrast, I lived in Gateway,
Mhm.
you know, but I grew up in the Dunbar area. When we moved to Gateway, you can walk out, the lawns are manicured, the sidewalks. The argument with that is, can we get wider sidewalks and bike paths?
Mhm, mhm.
But when you actually go into metropolitan Fort Myers, which is part of Dunbar, and
Mhm.
also in Lehigh Acres, they don't even have that argument because they have no sidewalks at all.
Okay.
There are
I'm glad
no bike
I'm glad
paths
you brought
at
that up.
all.
We were talking about this last night. Lee County seems like they can't stop the growth. They can't stop the people from coming. They can't stop the bed tax from coming. They can't stop the money from coming, which I think I mean, I think that's a good thing. I mean,
Mhm.
so why are there any poor areas in Lee County? Why?
Why aren't there any?
Why are there areas where there are poor people? I mean, what is missing to fix that?
Well, the bottom line is, if you can ignore a community, you will. If there's no consequences for ignoring that community, you will. You will get to them when you can.
That's why we need fair representation from within that community.
Okay. All right. So the process is on November 2nd, Tuesday, I think. There's a public hearing for all the different map selections, which I think is up to 7 now, right? They didn't.
Now, is that meeting? Because I know there was some discussion at the meeting that I watched that you were at, and I'm sure you were there, about the time of day and
Yes.
and needing some extra meetings. Has that happened? Is that occurring?
Yes. And the second, it's at 6:00.
Okay.
So and that's fantastic. We got to say that the commissioners were very responsive to that request, and they and we also have to say the fact that they have started the process so early, even though the data was given to them, we have to give them credit on that because they are making every effort to have the maps available so that the community can look at it themselves and make some decision about it.
Now, what do you think the chances are that your map gets?
Is this the same map that you presented at the meeting,
No.
or did you took the?
No, because
it looked
you
a
didn't
little
have the data. You
different.
didn't have the data.
right?
Right.
It was
Okay.
a draft of a map.
It was a okay.
Right,
Yes.
because when they created map 6A and 6B,
Right.
they were supposed to turn it in, I think, October 15th. They posted the maps, but no data was given.
Okay.
So we couldn't put data on our maps.
Okay.
But we knew the boundaries, but we couldn't put the data in.
So now you do, and that's
So
That's
what do you
our submittal.
what do you think the chances are this map can be approved? Have you had any backroom discussions with the county commissioners, and have you tried to lobby them? And
We have not.
No.
The only thing that we can do is go before the county commission and implore them to be fair
Mhm.
and to follow the 1965 Voting Rights Act as it's written. And you see that there's that opportunity. They have an opportunity to make history. And I'm hoping that they do that. And when I say make history, it's to do the fair thing where we can start moving forward. Right now, with the 5 districts as it stands, from inception of Lee County until now, you have 700,000 people. It's time for us to move forward. That meaning changing, actually accepting the fact that we have a majority city, and minority majority area where we can draw maps to lead us to a point where we can set things up where we can have a representative of our choice. And that's the first step forward. So we're hoping that when they do make their decision, that they're going to think about that.
okay,
They can
And
change
so-
the lives
so
of children.
the-
Wait, let me just add, because the map as you presented it, that section, that swath kind of through the middle does meet that majority minority
Criteria,
rule.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
It
Okay.
does.
Are there other criteria that have to be met for people who may not know?
Well, yes, there's a 3-part jingles test, and it's like going into constitutional weed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you can
But
rest
all of that-
assured,
yes.
all of that is
It's
built
been met.
in.
Yeah.
Has been met.
So again, to me, at some point though, somebody has to run for office that can win, and this is obviously a Republican county. It's a Republican machine, and you got to pay your dues. I mean, I'm not saying that's the rule. I'm just from what I've seen. Do you have somebody that now at some point, even though it's at large, and you're not talking about changing the charter, that you want to see run for office? There are 2 seats up next year. Is somebody going to run?
You know, the NAACP don't put up or take down officers. That's not our role.
Okay. All right.
Our role is to create the environment where
For somebody
any
to.
individual who has the desire and the wherewithal to create their own path. That's what we do. We,
All right,
we
so-
don't.
Opportunity to
right.
do
So
it.
take your NAACP hat off and just be a regular Joe here shooting the breeze with a couple of goofy podcasters. Who would you like to see on the ballot?
I don't have that type of luxury to
Oh.
take off the NAACP
Okay.
act. I don't have that luxury.
I'm I think for me personally, it comes down to their ability to be able to run
I
if
see.
you want to.
Mhm.
Just having that opportunity.
Right.
And that's what it means.
Yeah.
And that's
But-
what it all
but-
It doesn't
but-
really seem like a picnic to kind of throw your hat into any kind
Yeah.
of race because they get so contentious. So
Yes.
it
But-
does
but
have to be somebody who wants to do
I'm
that.
still a little slow today. Even if your map
Today?
even if your map gets approved, I don't see how it's any better off. If you have people that you don't feel are representing you, it's not any different, right?
because of the at large.
Because of the way because of the way things run in the county. It's am I wrong?
Well, I think you have to run before you walk.
Okay. So
and
you
this is a process that we're in. We can't we had to fight as far as the NAACP. We've had to fight for years. The people of color have had to fight for years. So we're taking bites out of this.
Mhm.
So to think that we're all of a sudden going to get that map and then all of a sudden miraculously we're going to get that vote. No, because we have an at-large voting system
Yeah.
that has been
I
set up
see.
since the Jim Crow era
Yeah.
to specifically ensure that a person of minority background does
Never-
not get elected. So now what are we going to do? Are we not going to fight just for that piece of the map and then move forward? We have to fight step by step, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's
And-
what the NAACP
right.
is
And
for.
and our president James Moakil, he's been at it for 30 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
30 years, and the ball is moving down the field, which gives us this excitement that something is happening. It might be incremental,
I got you.
but the ball is moving down the field.
Do you feel like
Can I ask a
Yes,
question?
go right
I
ahead because
just-
I'm being ignorant according to Al. I apologize
So-
if I'm coming across ignorant.
Not at
just
all.
there's some learning process for a lot
Well,
of
I
people.
mean,
I
I think that's
especially
what
when
we
it comes
talked
to the
about in the
redistricting.
beginning. So you mentioned about flood control being one of the issues in the area. What are some of the other issues? What are some of the other problems you want to see a representative from that area work towards fixing, if that's the correct term?
For instance, we have in Lehigh Acres and Metropolitan Fort Myers, we have multi-generational family, living, and so there are issues that comes with that.
Mhm.
You have dropout rates that needs to be addressed, and some of the time the reason why we have those issues, and I'll give you an example. 2019, I went to Dunbar High School, and we were talking about incarceration and things of that nature, and we were talking to the graduating class, and we asked them, show your hands if you know someone that is in prison. And just about everyone in the room hands went up. And then we say, okay, take your hands down if you have a relative in jail, and most of the hands came down.
Stayed up.
Came down. The hands came
Okay.
down
Oh,
because
okay.
they had someone that they know, a family member that is in jail, and that's powerful. That's powerful. You there is something to be said for second chance. Is the system set up for second chance, especially if you have that as a problem in your community? Buses. What about buses? How late the buses run? If you are working on minimum wage, sometimes your paycheck or your schedule have you coming in 9, 10 o'clock at night. Do you have buses to take you home? And once you get off the bus, do you have lights to walk you lit all the way home?
Mm-hmm.
Those things are supposed to be addressed if that's unique to your community.
Okay.
I forgot what I was going to ask, dear, because you interrupted me there. So
Always a woman's.
That's
The,
right. He
the
blames his lack of attention.
what do
and,
you
and
what do you think? What is the next step after the meeting on Tuesday? That's basically a public hearing kind of thing where everybody can see the maps and they give public feedback, and then the county commission wants to vote on this. They have to vote on it quickly. I believe before the end of the year.
Yes,
So what happens after that? They're gonna pick one.
they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you guys feel that that this county commission is fair? You don't think they're racist, do you? Or do you?
I'm a newbie. I'm the newest member of the Lee County NAACP and newest member of the redistricting team. And so far, I have had one commissioner reach out to me and said, let's talk.
Who was that?
Brian Hammond.
Okay. You did call the maps racist, though. Somebody did, right?
No, if I'm not mistaken, we said it didn't do the job, so we didn't want them, and for that reason.
Okay.
We use strong languages at time, because it gets to the point and it addresses our position.
Does it the picture that hangs in that room, is it offensive? It seems like it's a picture of Robert E. Lee in that room. Is that odd? It seems odd to me.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
I think that if you think about what he represents, and if you can even think as a person of color, what this man represents, when you go before the board, what are the chances of you feeling like, because he's sitting there and this board actually is representing and actually paying homage to him? What are the chances of a person of color feeling as though they can walk in there and have fair representation?
Yeah.
And that says a lot. That is still holding on to the Jim Crow era. It's still telling us when we walk in there as a person of color, as a minority, that we're still small. And we're not small in any way. But that represents Robert E. Lee, and that portrait of him represents the Lee County Board of County Commissioners. And they represent him. That's basically what it says. So anyone that sees that from that perspective can really truly understand how a person of color would feel and wonder if we are being represented in the proper way.
You know, people at times tend to ignore the impact of symbols. And I think that's what's happening now. It's a tone deaf situation. What it means. I know if you are living on a street and you have something, you love your neighbors, and there's something that every time your neighbor passes your home, it hurts them, and they talk to you about it. Because you love your neighbor and you feel your neighbor's pain, you would do something about it. That symbolism that sits there, and how many for years we have spoken about the pain and the hurt that it reflects, and there is no desire to ease our pain.
I'm sorry he got you all off on that.
No,
All right.
I think it needs to be said. And I think people need to really understand
Mhm.
it from a different perspective.
Well, I think that's kind of like where we started, which is about getting out,
Lee,
saying what you need to say and explaining how it feels and,
Lee-
and educating
Lee
people.
Melsick is watching the show, and he knows a lot of history about Lee County. He says that one black person only one has served on the Lee County
Yes.
board.
Right.
Melvin Morgan.
Why is that?
And that person was not elected, we should say.
Okay.
That person was appointed.
Why what's the challenge there? How is that changed?
I look, and I'm trying to find a reference, and my mind is going like crazy.
That happens to me a lot too.
You remember?
No, yours
for how
just
many-
slows down.
yeah. for how many years we have had a male white president? You remember that? And then the sense of I'm able to breathe when President Obama took the seat.
Mhm.
And everyone, even folks who didn't vote for him, kind of feel a breath of fresh air. That's what we're talking about here.
Mhm.
That's
Do
what
you
we-
feel like everybody evenly? I know this is going to come across as a dumb question, but I'd like to know your answers. Get a fair shot at the American dream.
That's a difficult question because there's endemic racism, and at times it takes special individuals, family structure, to break through that ice, that barrier that separates and controls the individual.
Well, I'll say it like this. There's a responsibility on both ends, on the individuals as well as the government and the people themselves. You cannot get a family that is working hard. These are hard workers, but they are only because of the fact that they are here, their parents, their grandparents were uneducated. Now they're educated, but they can't afford to go to college because of the fact that they're only focused on the fact that, hey, I finished school, but guess what? I had to work. I had to work during high school. So my focus wasn't on college. It was just being able to eat, So when you're focused on that, you're lucky that it's like getting a child that's been traumatized that's not eating on a daily basis. And you want them to go to school and be able to focus and learn. How can you expect for them to do that?
Mhm.
And so therefore there's a setback. There's a systemic system here that is preventing people to elevate. And we have to recognize that. And until we do, and we can say, oh, well, everyone has the shot at the American dream, but we don't.
No.
Realistically, we don't, because you're always starting out over and over from day one, over and over again.
Mhm.
So now you finish high school, you're working, you have the skills, but you're only working and you're making $18 an hour or $15 an hour. That is, you're going to work the rest of your life to be able to just make ends meet, because we already know that's not going to happen here in Fort Myers. That's not going to happen here in Lee County. $15 an hour can barely pay your bills.
Right.
So now you have children that are still starting over when they graduate from day one, and they have to continually work from the beginning over and over again. So how can we repair that? We have to recognize it, and we also have to set a system in place where it gives them an opportunity. Most of the people, and I've worked in social services for years, they just want an opportunity to do better. And if you give them that opportunity, they will. I've seen it happen, so all we have to do is make sure that we have the resources and put the resources in place to be able to do that.
let's make it personal. Let me tell you about something with me. I went to Rutgers. I was a class president, and a group of us were recruited to work in Wall Street. Payne Weber. In those days, blacks were not put in the sales department. So I was sent to operation. All my classmates who were white went to sales. It took me 5 years to get out of operation, take the broker's exam to become a broker. 5 years. I was 5 years behind my peers in sales. That's what I'm talking about.
And let me take it a little step further.
Okay.
Let's look at it things from a woman's standpoint. We're not even equal. You know, we have the skills, we have the abilities, the same as men do, but we're still making less than a man, even though we may just be smarter than they are. We're able to juggle more than we are because we have the babies, we raise the children, we take care of the home, but we still go out and we make it happen.
And
yet
your shirts at the dry cleaners is more expensive than mine.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. Especially our heels.
So before we let you go, I have kind of a crazy question just to see what you think. My favorite comedian is Dave Chappelle.
Love him.
Are you offended by what he's done? Are you offended by how they're trying to cancel him?
Do you have any comment?
Well, we're living in the most complex time, and you want to love something, and you are questioning it, and you're trying to walk in a balanced fashion, but you also have to learn about the changing time. And to me, it's the most difficult time to live in, and that's what's happening. I love him. I like his sense of humor, and I like some of the things that he's saying. But at the same time, I am more sensitive to the folks who are saying this might not be the way to go. So it's a struggle, and at times I find myself conflicted.
Well, if people watch it to the end, you really get the feel for the struggle at the end when he explains how hard the struggle's been compared, a certain group of people compared to a different group of people. And he really laid it out there. And it was a home run to me when he explained it that way, because there's some people, I know there are people that feel like they're being discriminated against now because there's 50 different things that people can call themselves these days. And back then, you weren't allowed to drink out of the same water fountains and you weren't allowed to go to the same schools. It's way different to me. And the way he laid it out, obviously a white person is not going to be able to lay it out like that and get away with it.
Right.
And I just thought it was a complete teaching moment at that point. I don't think he could ever be canceled because he's so funny and because he is obviously knows the history.
Yeah. But when you have felt discrimination, it's very hard for you to be tone deaf when someone said, I'm being discriminated against.
Okay.
And you have to pause and you have to listen. And then you have to do a self-evaluation.
Did you watch the special?
Part of it.
Okay. Did you get to the part that offended?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you watch the special?
I did not.
All right.
I've heard a lot about it, and I agree with what Mike said. It's I think all of this, everything that we go through is a learning opportunity.
Mhm.
And it's an opportunity for us to empathize with others. However, when you see a situation, when you look within yourself as a person of who you are, we all have our own struggles.
Right.
And that's just, how it is. I think acceptance, we need to be more accepting of each other. We need to be more understanding of the other person as well. But the struggle continues. What I say with what's happening is, and all those who continually say that they're being discriminated against, welcome to our world. This is us. This has been going on
for a lot
hundreds of
longer.
years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't compare your pain to my pain. I'm not going to try because you may hurt and your hurt is real.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you what I've been through for over 400 years. What my people have been through for over 400 years, and we still face it daily with discrimination, with that subliminal discrimination. It's not so overt now.
The way it was,
it's very,
right,
very
right,
covert,
right.
but it's still there. And you work hard, you get your education, but you're still the last one to get promoted, even though you have built the skills, you have the skills and everything to do so, but you're still not promoted. So therefore your children and your grandchildren, that's where the generational wealth is stagnant. So it affects us in so many ways that, and it's very deep, but I'm not taking away from anything that anyone else has been through.
So on Tuesday, anything you want people to do to go out and support, learn more about your map or support? I mean, how can they get in touch with you? How can they learn more? I mean, I think for a lot of people in the county, they're just be like, they're whipsawed from this. Like, it's what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
They're seeing 7 maps and then trying to understand why this change is being made. If you're not following the county meetings or the politics of it all, you're probably in the dark about what's going on Tuesday. So how can people get involved?
I believe that the fact that there are 7 maps is really good because it shows the importance of it. And this happened once every 10 years.
Right.
And everyone should be involved and say, wait a minute, let me look at that. Let me evaluate. Because at times we vote, it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Mhm.
We just vote, and because I voted like that 10 years ago, and we're saying reevaluate.
I actually would like
about the process.
I actually would like to see a charter change where you do have to vote within a district and you have to fight in that district, and it makes it. I just think it makes it more competitive, and it's better than. It's better than the machine winning. It just seems like, and I'm not saying
Absolutely.
Republican or Democrat, it just seems like the machine is going to win. If they find a person that they want, they put all the money behind that person because they got all 800,000 people that they can go after rather than one district. And I just mean that for every district. It just seems like that should be done everywhere.
Yeah, that's a single member voting district.
Yeah.
And that's the way the school board is set up.
Right.
The wards are set up very similar to that, the same way. And like I said, it's time for the county to recognize that. Let the people within that area vote for the person to represent.
Now, what's the downside to that?
Sense.
It means
I want to superimpose your brain on the rest of the county.
Oh no,
No,
you don't.
no, not really.
No, you don't.
That won't go over well.
No, they don't.
No, we're
No,
friends with
you
all
don't.
5 of them. We think they're great guys. I think that voting system, and I think I'm not an expert at this, but I think in Florida, each county has to have 5 districts, and at least that's what I thought I read, but it can be different, and the state doesn't rule how each county can vote. They can change the charter to vote it that way, correct? Is that right? Would it need to be a referendum?
It has to be at least 5 districts, but it's going to be more.
I see. It's got to be at least 5.
Especially with the growth.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's just following the growth. They said that it's growing. Follow the growth, make the changes. Single member district is fair. It is equitable. Fair. And what do you have to lose?
But there's no downside to it. Now you're really representing your district.
Absolutely.
As opposed to trying to represent everybody in the county.
Okay.
Sorry.
I know, but
It has nothing to do with this county. I love those
What would you like
guys.
people to do let's this thing first, as they said at the beginning, get the redistricting redone first.
Yeah.
So what do you want? You want people to show up?
Show up to every meeting. Show up to these meetings.
Get involved.
This is this will not happen until another 10 years. So it needs to be done now. So all of the citizens within the communities, within Lee County need to come. They need to understand, ask questions, call the NAACP. 239-464-1394 is our president's number. And we're on Facebook. They can reach us through Facebook as well. The NAACP, Lee County NAACP. Ask questions, become aware. As long as you're ignorant to certain things, people can take advantage of you.
Yeah, I'm ignorant to a lot of things, so people take advantage of me all the time.
Process.
No, we appreciate you educating her on it.
And remember that the map tells a story, and the story is about how the people live within the confines of that map. It's where they go to church. It's where they gather. It's how their children deal with the school system, or how the school system deal with their children. There's a story there beyond the lines of the map. So when you resolve the issue with the map, you're addressing the issue
I
of the
see.
people who live within that map constraint.
So are you confident? I you might have asked this already, that your map follows, there's certain
Yeah,
guidelines of whatever
They
the
already said
rules
that,
are, because
yeah.
there's certain rules other than the population. There are
Right.
other things they throw in there to make it
Yes.
unlawful, I guess. But all that.
Asked and answered
Okay,
in
gotcha.
the affirmative.
So
Yes.
cool. Well, thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming
you
down.
so
I
much.
learned a
Thank
lot,
you for
and
inviting
we hope to have you
us.
back and see you on Tuesday night for sure.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, you might not see us at the commission. We'll be at
The school board.
The school board.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
two.
The
I
school
see. They
board-
schedule at the same time.
They
I
schedule
see.
them at the same time.
What's going on at the school board?
Well,
They're not fighting over the masks still, are they?
No.
They're crazy with the masks thing.
no, we're doing the map thing right now.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but what's going on at the school board?
Oh, well, it goes back down to our children. You see what's happening in what's that county, Laundry County? How the mama bears and the papa bears are fighting over their kids. I think that's the same thing that's happening.
I see.
here.
Don't you find it a little bit odd that all the county members are men and all the school board are women? How did that happen? Like, there's no mixing and matching in any way on those two boards. It's kind of crazy that
Again,
happened.
you have an at-large voting system
Right.
compared to a single
Yeah.
member district voting system.
Yeah.
And
You have an
there you
opportunity
see-
to have fair representation with single member district. With at large, you really truly don't. And
Mhm.
every one of these municipalities, the school board, the county commission, even Fort Myers City Council, they have to have those maps drawn. They have their own maps. And what we're trying to do is ensure that the school board recognizes
I see.
that there's an at-large. They usually go according to the county board of county commissioners map, but that's unfair because of the board of county commissioners is an at-large voting system where theirs is a single member district. They're not the same. They're two different entities. They need to focus on what they
Okay.
are commissioned to do.
I might have missed this. Now, when the map is redrawn, whatever map is chosen, that district becomes the school district 2, or is the district have a school district? Did you say the school district has a completely different map than their map, and that's just the way it is in all counties?
Right now, the county is trying to get the school district to adopt
Oh, their map.
map.
So there'd only be 5
Right.
school board members. Isn't there like 15 now, or just?
No,
Oh, that's the attorney up there.
There's 7. There's
7
5
now.
single member
So
districts in
now-
we are
at-large.
encouraging the school district to create their own map.
Okay. Now, I thought of a question while you were talking about the school board. We've had Chris Patrica on 2 or 3
They might
times.
have other stuff to do.
Listen, this is important. When you heard her on the Zoom meeting say what she said, do you think she needed to resign after that? There's a
Well,
long pause, pregnated pause, as they say.
Yeah, let me just jump in. I believe in second chance, and I believe in opportunity to rehabilitate, to learn, and to grow.
Look at you,
That's
Mr.
my
Nice Guy.
personal-
Very nice.
Because I've made so many mistakes in my
Oh,
life.
tell me about one. Tell me about one. Share one of your biggest mistakes that you've made.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
The statute of limitation might not have run.
I
so
see, I see.
I plead the
He'll
fifth.
take
I see.
I can't. That's not for me to call. I think it's for the people
Yeah.
who voted her in to make that decision. You know,
Are you going to run
Um,
for office? Because that's a political answer, the best I've ever heard so far. So everybody's
It's from
got
the
an
heart.
opinion. So awesome. Well, you guys are great. Thanks for coming on and educating my wife out, because I told her
Yes,
she had to
thank you.
read up on this map stuff. I
we
mean,
knew you knew it all.
the looking at
Ah.
the maps on the screen up there, it's like, holy crap, what the hell's going on with these 50 different maps, and the attorney's getting involved, and everybody's is there enough? Did you think there's enough involvement? I know she wants me to let
Boy,
you go, but I
guys
just
were
can't. I can't
almost
stop.
ready,
It's-
and then
did you know it's noon? The show's been going on for
I'm
3
loving it.
hours.
I'm loving it.
Did you? Was there enough people? You can't, because when you watch the county board meeting, you can't see the audience. Were there a lot of people? Are there a lot of people involved in this?
There's several groups that are involved, fighting for equity and the ability to choose your own representative. I think there needs to be more community involvement, but
For sure.
again, when you have people that are working 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day,
Yeah.
they don't get off until
Right.
6:30. the chances of them being able to be there.
Right. So this one on Tuesday is going to be at night, which is good.
Yeah.
There's a woman that speaks at every county board meeting. She says her name at the beginning, and she I don't know, is she homeless, or she advocates for the homeless for sure.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name because I have Alzheimer's early stage.
You know, she has a Juris Doctorate degree.
Seriously.
Yes.
She gets up there and she gives them grief every single, like twice a meeting.
Yes.
So,
Well,
but the county does do a lot for homeless.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know why we got off on that. Why'd you
I
bring up
don't-
the homeless
I
thing?
don't
But
know, but-
I brought it up because she's involved. She's very involved. She goes to all the meetings, every single one. And anyway, so did we miss anything? I don't know why I got off on the
I think you
tangent there.
guys did great.
Thank you.
We were there. We were at the finish line, and
The
then
thing
he
is,
just
I'm
went
going to be
over
honest with you.
into-
I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh,
You just
no.
don't know when
Oh,
you're going to
no.
ask the wrong question, because it's a difficult issue sometimes.
It
And
is.
for
It is.
especially for a white guy. I mean, I'm trying to learn as much as I can and not be an ass about things.
And
But
that's one of
sometimes
the
you're an
things
ass.
I think that we appreciate, because of the fact that you inviting us here, being representatives of the NAACP, but it's also to give information, provide information, and implore anyone who is interested in the future of their children and their children's children to come to be a part of this, because this is a chance of a lifetime. You know, like I said, it'll be another 10 years before we will be
Right.
facing this again. So the time is now.
Mhm.
Even if you don't understand it, just come to the meetings and start to follow it.
Right.
How much you
Well-
guys pay for parking? Do I need to take care of that for you? I know some people down here are. You were
think it was
downloading the app and the whole.
$100,
Oh,
right?
come on.
Yeah.
Uh,
I paid premium.
nice,
Oh,
very
boy.
nice. You know people too, I guess. So. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you
Good
so
luck on
much for
Tuesday,
coming
and
out.
if we don't see you there, we'll see somebody else there from the
Yes.
organization,
All right.
right? Awesome.
Yes.
Good luck with the map.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you guys
much.
for
Thank you
coming
very
on.
much. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Before we go, dear, you have to take care of this.
No,
I have to go to the restroom, and
Nope,
you have to take.
held up
Oh,
too
okay.
long.
All right, you can go ahead and do what you have to do, and I will take care of my friends at Beach Pottery, and then she'll take care of our friends at the Fort Myers Tiki Tours. Whew. Love those guys. All right, Beach Pottery is located now. Hang on, folks, because you know you got to hear the fun stuff from Beach Pottery and from the Fort Myers Tiki Tours. And we got a lot to tell you about. Things are coming up in the future. We're going to be at the Best Western Pool on Friday. And we have this is like the busiest time of the year. The events are back. The beach is back. The sun is back out. I don't know if you saw that rainbow this morning, but I feel like there's a rainbow over me right now, because every time I talk about Beach Pottery, I feel like a rainbow, like there's a rainbow over me, because they have thousands and thousands and thousands of pots. And you know what? You can get key lime pie in your pots now. Key lime pie. They have all kinds of key lime pie, different sizes, shapes, different kinds of pies. Just pile the pie in the pots and bring the pot home. And then bring the pot home sounds kind of weird, but you know what I mean by now. You bring the pot home from Vietnam, and then you put the pie in the pot, and you enjoy a lots of key lime pie. Over an acre with 8,000 pots from Vietnam and Mexico. They have pots from Mexico, and the new line of all-weather outdoor furniture. They have unique on-site chainsaw carved wood pieces like Tiki's. They have furniture. Jim Adderholt just bought some furniture from. There's hugging going on over there. How come I don't get in the hugging thing? She gets all the hugs. They have the coffee and wine bar, small bites, and pastries are all coming soon. That's coming soon. I mean, it's not there now. So don't go down there asking for coffee. Ask for the pie in the pot. And of course, Beach Pottery is located at 17980 San Carl. Are you crying? There's no crying on the show. There's no crying. Why are you crying? How dare you cry? What's with the hugging, too? I didn't get any hugs.
Well, that's because you don't ask really good questions.
All right.
That's not true.
I have to,
Okay. All right. So I don't trip over the cord and pull it out of. There we go. All right. So Fort Myers Tiki Tours, you know me and the Tiki boats. I love them. You can call them at 239-887-0042. They're over at Salty Sam's. It's just right over the bridge. Such easy access. Give them a call. You can go out for a 90-minute tour. You might see dolphin. You might see manatees, hopefully. That's going to be my next thing. I'm going to start getting on the manatee and the seagrass thing. But anyways, go out for an anniversary cruise, which we know I'll be missing mine. I'm so bad. Dolphin Cruise, birthdays, team building, whatever you would like. They go in the day, they go in the evening. You bring your food, you bring your drink. They'll provide the captain and the ice and a cooler to keep everything cool. You be getting your picture taken by everybody going up and down, because how cool is it to be on this floating tiki boat? It goes very slow, though. It's so relaxing. I think that's the biggest thing. It's very relaxing. You can communicate and have a nice conversation with whomever you go with. So please give them a call at 239-887-0042. Now, I will say we had some guests here that they bailed out at the end. I think we went too long, but they were here last week, and they we already know I don't know much about music, but they were talking about this Tommy Emmanuel. I think he's Australian. He's a guitar player, but that does not even minimally describe what he can do with a guitar. And I would encourage any of you who like music to I listened to a TED Talk that he did, but he played the guitar. He played it like a drum. He was literally this one-man band. What he did with that guitar was amazing, and I think you will all enjoy it. That's Tommy Emmanuel, and thanks to Jay and Kay for recommending that. And they couldn't hang in here long enough. They were asking you to wind it up. So
who was asking me to wind it up?
J and K that came to see us. And
I see. Yeah. And I talked to Ray Sandelli during the week, and he is going up to the Thunderbirds reunion. Right?
Is it
Firebirds, Thunderbirds? Blue Angels. I screwed that up. People are going to be laughing at me.
So I may not know music, but
that's right. I have no idea about planes and things like that. So yeah, he's going to, I told him make sure he takes lots of pictures. I talked to Mayor Holly Smith yesterday, as we're talking about all this water stuff, which you're the expert on. Boy, I'm pretty much an expert on nothing this last week. Got all the kudos for the water, and I was talking to Holly, and she said she was getting on a plane to go to Denver because she's going to see the Broncos game.
Nice.
Her son is a big Peyton Manning fan. And I know that Peyton Manning used to be the quarterback for Denver, right? Or something like that. And they're retiring his number, or they're doing some kind of thing out there in Denver. So I said, and she said, yeah, there's a chance that you could win. I said, listen, I'm a Giants fan, so I don't want to hear you whining about, I didn't say that to her because I totally respect the mayor of
all right,
Sanibel.
dear, let's let the 5 people go that hung in with us.
I know, but I have to say today was a great lineup. I mean, and I apologize to people if I sound like a fool. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a fool.
I think the point that they were making, though, and we were talking afterwards, is that they appreciate people being open to being more knowledgeable and not saying stupid stuff.
I know, and the NAACP and the history of that organization and how that organization went through all that stuff.
Yes, dear, we know how you feel.
I mean, it's just I just would encourage people to read books about.
I would
not
also,
just that, but just
can
when
I just
you
get something in here too? Yeah. I would also encourage people to go down and see the Black History Museum. It's in downtown, Center City, Fort Myers. I was there. It's been a couple of years, but it's very interesting.
Yes,
and it's very nice. Have you ever been? You've never been, have you?
No, no. Where did you say it was?
It's down center of Fort Myers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't get out much.
I don't know the exact address, but it's there's a park right there.
Mm-hmm. And we live in Gateway, and she's right about the sidewalks. Yeah. Actually, we whine about the trees coming up and making the sidewalks hard to run on and bike on. So same difference. But I totally get it. So Tuesday night is the meeting, and we'll see what happens on Tuesday.
We will.
All right, dear. You did a fabulous job today.
Thank you
I really
so
appreciate
much.
you showing up and being part of the show and just being you, because if you weren't you, you wouldn't be you. All right, everybody. We will see you in 1 week. No special shows this.
Yeah, if you keep going, we'll still be seeing.
Yeah, I like to hear myself talk, dear, in the headphones. So you can go ahead and say goodbye. But I want to remind everyone, we do have a special show on Friday night. We'll be at the Best Western. Don't forget to get your tickets to the Friends of the Arts. If you tuned in late for my ramblings, you have to know that the Friends of the Arts start off their concert series this coming Thursday night. And they're back, and they're saying he's still on the air. He's still on the air. 7 o'clock is going to be Nightbird. So check him out. All right, I'm getting yelled at from everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.